Hi everyone, so it's been a while since I've talked with you guys. I am really excited to be here filming a video for you about something that I'm really excited to share with you. So I hope you have all had a great holiday, and I want to just let you know how this holiday has been really, really special and really exciting for me and for my family. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about my mental health. I'm going to be talking about my struggles with severe obsessive compulsive disorder. And I just want to share with you sort of like a huge accomplishment that I made this year. So I'm also going to be talking about thrifting and thrifting like gifts for people. So it's all going to make sense once I just start talking to you guys about it. So pretty much I have had a huge accomplishment in terms of my the work I'm doing for my severe obsessive compulsive disorder that I've been struggling with. And so what I did this year was my family and I decided we wanted to try to do something we were calling Thriftmus, where we really focused on buying gifts for each other that were from the thrift store, really trying to not spend a lot of money and focusing on really finding things that we, more like a curated item. I don't know if that's the right word. I find myself using it a lot, but I don't know if that's the right word. Where it's like something that like you really know the person will like and it has like maybe like a nostalgic meaning to them, maybe something that has like an inside joke that you maybe have with the person. And so that's sort of what we focused on. We were focusing on these thrifted gifts. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been struggling with severe obsessive compulsive disorder for a long time. And something that I've struggled with is one of the aspects of my OCD is that I have a fear of things being contaminated. And for me, contamination can mean like a variety of things. Like I've said before in previous videos, I don't know if I'm totally comfortable sharing with you guys like everything about my OCD at this point. And so like some things are a little more difficult to explain, difficult to understand than other things, unless I give you all of the details about that. And I just don't know that I'm ready to do that yet. But pretty much for a variety of reasons, I'll just give one example of contamination. I have had a fear that things were maybe dirty, too dirty to even clean. And so I would find something at the thrift store that I really loved for a family member or a friend, and I would end up bringing the item home and I wouldn't be able to give the item to the person because I was afraid that everything was contaminated and that everything was, like I gave you an example, too dirty to give to the person, not even cleanable, that in my mind it was completely contaminated. And like I said, that's just one way things become contaminated in my specific OCD. And it's just the one area that I'm more comfortable sharing with you guys. There are other ways that things become contaminated that I've struggled with in the past, and I'm really working to work through that. In the attic, I've shared with you guys some videos of me cleaning the attic. I'll see if I can link those videos above. But I had stored all of these items that I had been saving for people, and I had been keeping things in the attic and in the garage for years. Literally, I had gifts for people that I had been collecting for years. And I had gone up to the attic previously and just thought there's no way I cannot bring this item to give it to a person. I would think about it, and the process of just cleaning it to my standard was overwhelming. And so I became frustrated, because I knew the person that I wanted to give the items to would be so excited, and it was just a whole thing. And so this year I decided to go up to the attic I don't even remember exactly what I was looking for first. I was looking in the attic for something for one of my family members, and all of a sudden I started seeing these other items. And in my head, when I started looking at the one item in particular that I went to look for in the first place, there wasn't that fear and that almost when I would look at the item before, it was a big I don't know how to describe it. I couldn't even fathom honestly touching the item at times. but that barrier wasn't there. I guess there was no barrier, and I just picked up the item I was looking for, and I was like, I'm going to give this. This is the year I'm going to finally give this gift to this person. And the more I started looking around the attic, the more I was like, there are so many things here that I have wanted to give to people for years, and I'm ready. And that was like just an amazing experience that I'm so grateful for. I'm like, I can't cry, but like, I felt like a kid in a candy store, honestly. I felt like I was like, ooh, this item's really cool. Ooh, this item's really cool. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, you purchased them because you thought they were really cool. And I was like, oh, this person will love this and this person will love this. And it was just like there was so much clarity. I could finally breathe. And I know I've talked with you guys about how I'm taking a medication. I'm working with a psychiatrist and taking a medication for my OCD that has given me a lot of relief and a lot of clarity. And I was just so grateful and thankful to that, to be able to, go upstairs and just have so much clarity when I was up there. I ended up finding so many items that I wanted to gift to people, and honestly, I probably found too many items. It was really amazing to see everything. I think what I'm going to do, because this video might be kind of long, but I think I'm going to make like a separate Thriftmus video where I share with you guys the items, like everything, as many things as I was able to get pictures of. I'll talk about those items and share that with you. But like, we found, I mean myself and Sean and my sister Keely, we found so many items that had been like waiting to be gifted. And so when we started wrapping everything, there were so many things in here, and we spent almost nothing this year on Christmas because these items were thrifted throughout the years. Yes, I did spend money on them at one point, but I wasn't buying them this year. There were a few things that I found this like thrifting season, I guess you could say, that I gifted, but everything was from the thrift store or a garage sale, and everything had such meaning to it. And I was so proud of myself. Like, normally the holiday season and the gifting season, in my family, we celebrate Christmas, and normally the holiday season can be very stressful, and it's usually very stressful for me, and especially in the past several years, I've been afraid to wrap gifts. I've been afraid to touch different gifts. Sharing a little bit more with you guys about what I struggle with. I have struggled with taking pictures of things and being afraid of like needing to take pictures of things to make sure I can look back at the pictures and know what I'm giving people. That's like the first time I'm sharing that with you guys, to the point where I have had like hundreds of pictures of like a specific item, and I'm like nervous talking about that because I haven't really shared that with anybody, except for my family and friends. But so I wouldn't even want to wrap gifts because I was afraid of, I knew it was never just wrapping a gift. It was always the process of, making sure that I wasn't contaminating the item somehow, making sure that I was taking enough pictures so that I could go back and look at the pictures and make sure everything was fine. So in the past, the holidays have just been so difficult because I've just had such a hard time, with the process of selecting the right gifts and wrapping them and everything, that I was sharing with the pictures. So I just had so much fun, like, wrapping things. And in my head, I was just thinking, like, I know how this didn't make sense to me before. I know how I struggled with these things before. I understand them because it's my specific struggle with OCD. But, like, I felt like I was almost like standing on the other side of a bridge. I don't know how to describe it. It was like that person was so far, like that is me, who I was, and what I struggled with. But it was like I was looking at the outside, almost looking at myself as I was struggling, kind of like the Christmas Carol, I guess you could say, where Scrooge, that's his name, right? I couldn't remember for a second. Where Scrooge was, going to, with all the different ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. And he was able to see his experiences through Christmas, through those experiences with the ghosts. And I felt like that was me. Like, I was finding things in the attic that I was like, I remember putting this here. I remember being terrified of this item. I remember, the panic attack I had because I wanted to gift something to somebody so badly, but I couldn't wrap it. I couldn't touch the gift. I couldn't imagine the thought of giving the gift to them because I was afraid that it would somehow be dangerous. And so just like going through that process, it was a healing process, honestly. I felt so like strong. Does that make sense? Like I felt so like confident and like powerful. That's how I felt. I felt like I was like tackling something that has been so difficult for me. And it was really like I said, like a kid in the candy store. I was upstairs finding all of these different items, and it was almost like thrifting in the house, I guess you could say, because some of the items I hadn't seen in years because I would put them in the attic and just leave them there and honestly forget about them because they were just too overwhelming for me to try to work with. And just being able to look at everything and seeing them, and it was like I was seeing them as a new person. So yeah, and I love buying things secondhand, and I love buying things thrifted and like making a special connection with the items for people. That's like my favorite thing to do, is, go to the thrift store or garage sales and find these things that I'll be like, oh, I know my sisters will love this. And, for the longest time I would say like, oh, I know my sisters will love this. But then I would just leave the item. Sorry, I'm afraid Feeling's gonna bark. But then I would just, get the item home and then be like, well, no, it's contaminated and I can't give this to them. I don't want it to be dangerous for them. And I just didn't feel that. And even like as we were wrapping things and bringing them outside, I know like I gifted a lot of stuff. It almost felt like a weight was lifted from my shoulders, but also from like the house, because all of these items that I was able to take out of different rooms that I had in the house, remove from the attic, remove from the garage, it was just like such an amazing experience. Like it was like just taking out because I don't want to say it was like taking out junk because these items were gifts and they were like, I found them specifically for people, and they definitely weren't like, it wasn't like throwing out trash, but it was like releasing like bad energy, or just like releasing like I felt like I sort of like figured out I don't know how to describe it. Like it felt like letting go of something, but like in a really super positive way by gifting it to people. And then like I shared with my family, all of this because I was kind of nervous about the gifts. You guys know I love to find things that are nostalgic. And so often I find toys or references to things from when I was younger with my sisters, or things that just sort of like make me think of somebody that I know. And I was afraid that people might not understand the gifts. And so I shared with my family and friends, the significance of the gifts they were getting. And everyone was so kind and so supportive and so wonderful. And it made the process of giving these things to everyone even more special. And the looks on their faces when they were getting the gifts, like you can't pay, for that experience of having somebody open something and be like, oh my goodness, where did you find this? And just the fact that I was able to do that and give people things that I have had for years. Like, I think there are some things that I gifted to people that I've had for like 3 years, maybe even since we moved into this house. And like, it was just amazing to finally see the end of that like process of, I found this specifically for this person and they are finally receiving that gift, and just, I don't know. It just was it was a really amazing experience. I could have just spent the whole time just watching people open gifts. I love to watch people open gifts. Especially like, sorry, I'm afraid Finley's gonna start barking. Especially things like that are nostalgic. I just love that like connection of like, that joy that they get on their faces. You know what I mean? I just love that. And so it just was like a really big year in terms of my struggles with OCD and sort of like conquering some like really big steps in the struggle that I've been experiencing with OCD. And I don't want to say, because I'm trying to decide the best way to describe it, I don't want to say it's like my healing from OCD, because I don't know that I'll ever be without OCD. I feel like it's always a part of my life, and you know, it's always something I'm going to struggle with, but it felt like a really big step in my therapy, kind of, and just like it's so amazing to be able to put myself in situations that would have caused me to panic previously and would have caused so much sadness for me and, you know, frustration, and to be able to take those moments now and make it such a positive, amazing experience. I'm just so grateful for that. And I've worked so hard in terms of therapy and trying a medication, a psychiatrist-guided medication for OCD. And I'm just grateful. I'm really grateful that I had this experience and that my family was so wonderful, and my family and friends were so wonderful. And it felt like a breath of fresh air, I guess. I feel like I felt like I conquered something. I felt like, and it was like such a positive way of conquering something, because it wasn't only something for me, it was something for other people. And I just felt like it was a big step to the next level of my, you know, journey with struggling with obsessive compulsive disorder. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And I'm just grateful. I feel like that's like the main thing I could say. I'm grateful. I feel strong. I feel confident. You know, it doesn't mean that I'm not still struggling. I have had a couple days over the past week where things have been kind of difficult for me. But the days that are difficult are fewer and farther between. And I'm so grateful for that. And I want you to know, if you're struggling with obsessive compulsive disorder or any other mental health disorders, or if you're just struggling, if you just are having a difficult time, know that I'm here for you. Know that there are so many people that are here for you, that love you, that understand what you're feeling, and you're not alone. I want people to know that they're not alone, and that it's challenging, you know, but I've, you know, struggled a lot, and I've been struggling for many years, my entire life. And I'm 35, and I finally found something that works for me. And I'm so grateful that I have had the support of my family and friends and doctors and psychiatrists and therapists and everyone to help me. And I'm so grateful to every single one of them. And so I want anyone who might be struggling, who's listening to this, to know you're not alone, and that it's a journey. But from my experience, I can share with you, it's been difficult to find the right medication that I'm using now. I've been working with a psychiatrist for a while. It's been difficult to find the right therapy that's worked for me, but I found it, and it has changed my life. And so I just want you to know, if you're struggling, you're not alone. I love you, I care about you, and I see you. And that's something I really want you to know. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. And I hope you all are having a great holiday season, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.